I found his speech to be fascinating for a few reasons. One of them being somewhere along the way, everybody has joined me and the people who had always been enlightened. And now y'all love Randy Moss, too. Like, you would have no idea from the way that people talk about Randy Moss now, the ways that they felt about him, really the previous about 20 years when we talk about him, right? That was part of it. The other thing was he had the racism stuff straight on, like what he said there about, facing racism and everything that he dealt with the high school case and how it was when you're the man, everything's okay. Now you're done playing football, the fight happens in school, and now we're trying to throw you in jail and everything else, right? Like all those things were there at play, and you almost forget that there was so much there because watching him was just so exciting and was just its own thing. But that speech was the country goodness that I came for and hoped to get from Randy Moss, because I can appreciate somebody who's that country and has no desire to be anything else.
Well, in fact, my favorite part of this speech was his shout out to his hometown. And if we can roll the video of him asking to be taken home down those country roads.
A lot of country folk out here, and I'm proud to be from the state of West Virginia. And with all that said, I'm bringing this gold jacket back tomorrow at the town center, 4:30. All y'all West Virginians want to see this gold jacket, meet me at the town center tomorrow at 4:30.
He's so serious. He said, when I'm done here, I'm gonna come there as soon as I'm done so y'all can lay eyes on this gold jacket. And they lined up to lay eyes on that gold jacket.
He said that HD wasn't good enough.
Yikes.
You need to see the thread count of this in person. And he did go. He showed up.
He showed up.
The people were there.
But you got to remember, if I'm not mistaken, when Randy Moss was in the league, there were 3 dudes from the state of West Virginia in the league. Like the idea of him being who he was and getting to where he was for the place that he's from, it is like really a big deal. And for him, it is a thing to be like, hey man, West Virginia made it. That was kind of a running theme in all these speeches that were draped in all the egomania that comes from being a good football player in the way that they are, while also telling people it wasn't just about me. Y'all made me better than everybody else.
Yes, it is fascinating to have Randy Moss in specific be an emblem of West Virginia, because that does complicate and make more complex our conceptions of what West Virginia is all about. And we mentioned this at the top, the racism and his acknowledgement of that made its way into his wardrobe.
Yes.
So if we can show Randy Moss's tie as well.
Yeah, this was interesting. Now, these are all people who were killed by police. Many believe wrongly is the best way for us to put it, because the law kind of went the other direction.
I think
all of
that might
these.
be the safest way.
Yo, that's bold.
It is.
That is really, really bold of him to do. And I go so far to say a bit surprising, because it's not like Randy Moss was a political revolutionary while he was a football player. No judgment on that fact. But there was no way for me to think that he would then ultimately be the guy who would show up and do this and sit on the NFL Network stage and explain it, and explain it deftly, by the way. He navigated when he talked about it, and he was just saying that, for those families, there's a lot of things going on in the country, and you are not forgotten, right? He knew, okay, these are the things you can say. These are the things you can't say. Randy Moss had no idea what the things were that you could not say when he was in the NFL. He just said whatever it happened to be.
That's right.
We have been on a voyage with him that culminated in this way, and I don't think it could have culminated any better than it did.
And if you look ahead as to how people are going to talk about this stuff, maybe this is a way forward, right?
Yeah.
No one told him to stick to sports during his Hall of Fame speech.
But it made a Fox News headline, though. Don't think people didn't notice.
Ooh, I missed that one.
Next name is Terrell Owens. T.O. gave his Hall of Fame speech this weekend 600 miles away from Canton at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. T.O. spoke for nearly 40 minutes, quoted the Bible, Albert Einstein, and Martin Luther King. Let's listen to T.O.
One of my favorite quotes by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. It says, "The ultimate measure of man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." These writers disregarded the system, the criteria, and bylaws in which guys are inducted, and ultimately the true meaning of the Hall of Fame and what it represents. I wanted to take a stand so the next guy coming after me will not have to go through what I and others have gone through. Whether it's 3 years or 45 years, you should get what you rightfully earned.
What you got, Pablo?
Well, now we have this news, Pro Football Talk was reporting, that they're going to try and change the rules such that you need to sign some sort of permission slip, some letter of intent, if you will, that says, I will show up to your ceremony. Otherwise, there may be consequences. Those consequences now, of course, are vague. But this is the Terrell Owens fish fry that we talked about when we first heard about this. This is his own straight-up deal. The thing that's weird about this, though, Bo, like, this can also just be about T.O., right? I don't know if any of this truly needs to be, as much as I appreciate the invocation of inspirational quotes, this kind of is also about one particular guy and his one particular relationship with a bunch of sports writers. The fact that we need to revisit anything that much broader than that, that's where you kind of lose me a little bit.
Yeah, so the thing that's interesting, though, about all these speeches, though, and this is the nature of being a football player, we are celebrating individual greatness, but football players are conditioned to say that it is not about you, that it is about something larger and something. There's a beauty in the nobility of, like, the Brian Dawkins speech, for example.
And that was beautiful.
Right, because it goes into that place, is that it's not just about me, except all these speeches did ultimately go right back to being about the person. Understandably, they're the ones who are going into the Hall of Fame. With T.O., though, that dude just wants to be seen.
Yes.
Like, the more I think about it and the more I look at everything that he's done in the course of his career, this is a dude who's felt like he's not been seen and has not been heard. And in this case, he wanted to be seen and he wanted to be heard. And he felt the only way that he could do that was to throw his own party. And I hope for his own sake that he enjoyed that party that much. Because the dudes that were at the other party, I guarantee you, they all had a ball. And I just hope that what he got from doing this is better than what he missed out on from going there.